Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got this feeling this morning. Everything's coming our way. Okay, so I've chilled the mystery mixture. Now the instructions on the back are to wet my hands and then grab some of the mixture, something about the size of a walnut, and make a little ball out of it. And then just let it put it gently in the boiling water. The instructions say boiling water, but of course you could use chicken soup. Now, so I'll continue doing that, wetting my hand and making a little ball. Now remember, these things will get bigger, probably because of the baking soda, which is one of the ingredients in this box. And I'll just keep going. There's not very much batter here. Can you see them well? Yeah, they float. See that? How long does this take to cook? About 20 minutes. Now, if you could see these empanadas there, I didn't like them at all this time. Last time I put applesauce as a filling, and that was great. But this time I put the cream cheese. Now, cream cheese is not as moist as applesauce, so these empanadas are a little bit dry. Maybe I cooked them too long too. But the main problem is the flavor of the cream cheese I bought had chives in it. And I think if I would have bought the plain flavor, then I could have turned this into a type of cheesecake empanada. I could have added some honey to the cream cheese before I put it in there. By the way, there's 1 tablespoon of cream cheese in each one. And in the future, if I decided to use the plain cream cheese, after it's cooked, I could, pour some honey on the top or some maple syrup, and it would be empanada cheesecake. I'm almost finished with this. When I was a little girl, my mother took me to this kosher cafeteria on Washington Avenue in Miami Beach, South Beach. And, it was the kind of cafeteria you went through the line and picked what you want. And they had matzo ball soup, but the thing is, the matzo balls were gigantic. I mean, they were like this. And, oops, I gave away what the recipe is. It's matzo balls. They do sell matzo balls in jars, but for some reason they're very, very heavy and gluey, and they're just not the same. The kind you make at home, either homemade or with these little packets, is nice and light. Now a similar product, gefilte fish, that's pretty good in a jar, but it can't compare to the frozen one or the homemade one, again, which is, like light and fluffy. Looks like I need to make this the heat higher, so this could be simmering. Just a tiny bit left here. See? Now, I have met young people that don't know how to make soup, and I find it very strange because soup is just you boil water and you throw whatever you want in it. When I was a little girl, my main uncle, the eldest one, used to take me out to eat with his very fancy friends to restaurants which were called continental restaurants, continental style cuisine. And someone or somehow they taught me how to order the best things. So what I always ordered was vichyssoise, which is a chilled potato and leek soup. And they would serve it in a stainless steel bowl on a pedestal, and they'd have ice around it on the bottom so it would stay chilled. In fact, he took me to one of his fancy friend's house once, and for a meal, and they had these bowls of white soup on the table. I was very young, and I asked him, why are they giving us milk in a bowl like for a cat? Anyway, then they explained to me that it's vichyssoise. And the reason he took me, such a young child, to all these fancy places was because I was quiet. I just, sat there and observed, and once in a while I'd ask an interesting question. So, being quiet was a benefit. Now I'm usually quiet, unless I have something to say. I'm going to wash my hands dip them in this water, because again, I'm touching an animal product, because remember, there are 2 eggs in this recipe. I don't know if you noticed, but the matzo balls seem like they are doubling in size. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, matzo balls, they're very delicious and very comforting. And for that reason, I don't think you have to worry about having leftovers hanging around. So I don't think there would be any need to freeze them. I don't even know if they would freeze well. But that's not a problem because they're so good. I did something a little different with the seasonings with this chicken soup. I put some dehydrated pieces of ginger. This thing. Because I don't know, it seemed to me like ginger flavor would be nice. What else did I put? Rosemary, coriander, a bay leaf, cumin, thyme, spelled Thyme, and garlic powder, onion powder. I haven't bought real onions in a while because they had that news story that there was some kind of problem with the onions. I don't know if that's still the case. So, let me just see what's going on. I think I'll cook them a little longer because, well, they're not going to burn. I don't know if I mentioned that I put spinach also in this chicken soup. The reason I use boneless, skinless chicken is because although we need fat, we need very little fat, and too much fat ends up clogging our arteries. And what happens if your arteries get clogged, the ones that are really, really tiny, you know, like in your eyes? No, thank you. That's about it. By the way, right after certain Jewish holidays, these Jewish products, like what I'm making here it is, you know, they go on sale like for half price or less. And there's 2 packets in here, and each one makes about 12 matzo balls. And according to this, there's no fat. Well, how could there be no fat if there's eggs? That's weird. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, it made exactly 12. Okay, that's it.